Yes, that's right. This is going to be the last video you will ever need to prepare for the Data Annotation Starter Assessment. Until it gets majorly updated, that is. So while I can't talk about the exact test, I can give some relevant examples, let's just say that. So for the first few starting questions, it's going to be pretty basic, just some sort of like, demographic questions, race, ethnicity, that kind of stuff. For starters, let's look up something simple. How about how many employees does Whole Foods currently employ? For this, we are allowed to use Google. And if you're not sure how to do this, you might have some trouble for the rest of the exam. And of course, the answer to this question is Whole Foods employs 105,000 people. Okay, now to ramp up the difficulty just a little bit, what is the closing price of Facebook for May 5th? And we want the closing price. So just double check that you're not actually looking at the open, the high, the low. You want the closing price for that day. For questions like these, we always want to verify that this information is correct and it's not just returning a random value or a hallucination. So I will be using Yahoo Finance to verify this information. And our next prompt's going to be, which one of these poems do you prefer? So the two poems are, a lantern swings in the ocean breeze, its glow a whisper through the trees. The stars lean low to kiss the tide, and night walks in with arms open wide. The second one is, a lantern swings in the ocean breeze, a lantern swings, look at it. I sure do love how the lantern looks. Wow, it is so bright. After listening to those two poems, hopefully you can tell that one is probably clearly better than the other. But let's break it down and actually give some reasoning as to why. So the things that we're looking for here is does the poem make sense? Is it a good poem? And what would you prefer? The first poem here has a pretty nice rhyme scheme with breeze, trees, tide, wide. While the second one doesn't really make any sense at all with breeze, it, looks, and bright. And the final thing we typically do with most rating jobs like this, we will just give a quick explanation for anyone reviewing our work. And we would just say something like the first poem is good because of the rhyme scheme, it meets the user's needs, and it's just a pretty entertaining poem overall. And then we will state that the second one is bad, basically for the complete opposite reasons. It is very repetitive, it has basically no rhyme scheme, and it frankly just sucks as a poem. For the next prompt here, we will be using set me a reminder email for 5 p.m. this weekend for the gym. Actually, can you change that to 2 p.m.? Thanks. Okay, and our first response was just a quick reminder to hit the gym at 2 p.m. this weekend. Whether it's Saturday or Sunday, lock in that session and keep the momentum going. You've got goals, and this one is a step closer. The second one is setting a reminder for 1 p.m. 3 days from now. Can I help you with anything else? So exactly like the previous prompt, we want to see that it actually meets our needs here. And right off the bat, we can see that the first one did set the time properly for 2 p.m. And it did set it for this weekend. While it didn't set an exact day, it just said Saturday or Sunday, which should be okay for now. For the second one, it's wrong for a few reasons here. The obvious reason is it set it for the incorrect time at 1 p.m. and it just said 3 days from now. And so this can be an issue because we don't actually know what day it is today. So if today was, let's say, Monday, 3 days from now is actually totally useless. And finally, one other maybe not so obvious mistake here is the grammar, with C not being capitalized and anything not being spelled properly. So this question is actually probably more important than the other ones because this doesn't just show up on the data annotation exam. It actually shows up on some other exams as well related to the field. And this prompt would be, give me 5 book recommendations, and then the follow-up question would probably be something like, which book would be a bad recommendation? And of course, since we can't use ChatGPT or any other large language models, we would essentially just Google or research each one by one, and we would eventually find out that the odd one out, in this case here, down here, would be The Night Circus, and that's because it stands out as the only fictional and imaginative narrative among a list of self-improvement focused nonfiction titles. So pretty obviously different from the rest. So for this, our prompt is going to look something like, give me the life and story of Albert Einstein. At first glance, there's nothing immediately wrong with any of the information that's being provided to us, and that is one of the first things that we do want to check. Is everything factual and accurate? So moving down our list here, what can really separate these two responses? And if you pay close attention to this intro here, you want to pay attention to how concise a response is, and if something is kind of just a bunch of useless fluff words. And these fluff words or sentences can just include a useless introduction and conclusion, and then just kind of a lot of repetition, kind of repeating the same information over and over again. That would be basically completely useless to the average user. So when everything else seems roughly equal, we can then break down the formatting of a response and just how concise it is. And for the people who have watched my other videos, this question might sound a little familiar. The prompt would be something like, just summarize The Matrix for me. And then the first response is, The Matrix is a sci-fi action film directed by the Wachowskis, starring Keanu Reeves as Neo, a computer hacker, blah blah blah, we all know the movie. And then the second one is, The Matrix is a 1999 film, sci-fi thriller, starring Matt Damon as Neo. And then further along here, we see that he also teams up with Denzel Washington as Morpheus and Angelina Jolie as Trinity. So for people who are maybe movie buffs or familiar with this exact movie, the first response here is obviously right, and the second one is incorrect. So we just want to look for little inaccuracies. And just as one more quick tip here, for someone who might not know every movie off the top of their head, a really quick thing you can do to see how accurate one response might be in comparison to another is just see if there's anything that's obviously changed here. So you could immediately go check the actors, and just making sure that all the actors' names line up, the name of the movie is obviously correct, and what date it was released. So any sort of like name or number, you kind of want to compare in both responses just to make sure that everything immediately lines up before you have to do a little deeper dive. For those of you unaware, this is actually just part one of a two-part test. Yes, if you didn't see the second one immediately pop up, you actually failed. But it's not all bad news. I already plan on releasing the second part. So please show me some love in the form of subscribing to help me reach that sweet goal of monetization in the meantime. But only if you found it helpful. Okay, and finally to the last question, and just like before, this question kind of pops up with a lot of these jobs because it does require some creativity. Just as an example, you'll be having a lot of conversations with these models, so you definitely want to be able to come up with new and different conversations every single time. It is definitely frowned upon to just kind of keep going back to the same thing over and over again. Kind of like I do with the Matrix. And so, speaking of just being creative, you can kind of just test your ability here. As an example, a question might be like, give me a random topic. Okay, the topic is, let's do, I guess, psychology of nostalgia. That sounds like a weird one, but I'll see what I can do. And then what they're going to ask you to do is probably make like a 6 to 8 sentence long story, or if you're actually in production, you will be actually having a conversation maybe on this topic, right? And then especially for questions that involve some sort of creativity, you definitely don't want to just copy something from the internet or use ChatGPT, because that's going to get flagged pretty quickly. So yeah, for these creative prompts, honestly, just try your best, you know? It is always good to have a few tools to be able to pull on. What I might do in this situation is definitely talk about my own life experiences that I know to kind of start the conversation. And if I actually didn't have anything super relevant, I would either try to make it up and pretend, or I would actually try to call on other people's stories I may have heard, or maybe something I would have read. So finally putting all the pieces together, I would be like, when I was a kid, I was very nostalgic for, let's say, the ocean. I had a lot of fun going to the ocean with my family. And that's because I just love having off for the summer. I love being around my family. Who doesn't love going swimming? And of course, all the good, like, you know, new food you get to try. So honestly, the most important piece of advice is definitely just avoid these sort of templated conversations where you always are given a topic and you always attack it the same exact way. You kind of want to keep it open, whether it's a topic that you're familiar with, maybe unfamiliar with, and you know, it could be a learning process for you, and you can actually have like a really engaging conversation with the model that will hopefully, you know, lead to some errors or some like really good splits. And if it's more of an exam question, then, you know, you're practicing coming up with something on the fly, which is always useful. So as you can tell, this last part was definitely on the fly, kind of like to practice my own creative thought process and maybe to kind of rub off on you guys just a little bit here. But yeah, I plan on putting out like, you know, weekly creative prompts and just regular prompts just to kind of give people more exam questions that they can kind of look over. But also, if you're already working and in production and you're kind of just struggling to kind of have a conversation, especially if you're working 8 hours a day, it can definitely be tough. So hopefully that'll help with that as well. So if you have any prompts, put it in the comments below. And then that way I can put out some videos sort of as like a series of me just kind of answering prompts on the fly and kind of just showing you my creative process.
Want to start earning $1,000 a week online but stuck at account signups, failed exams, or verification roadblocks?
Real freelancers don't wait. They start earning today.
Want to start earning $1,000 per week online but stuck at account signups, failed exams, or verification roadblocks? White heavy check mark, we've got you covered. By verified freelance accounts, TELUS, OneFormer, Appen, Remotasks, Welocalize, and more. Get exam answers that work and breeze through verifications, all done fast, securely, and anonymously. Globe showing Europe Africa trusted by over 500 freelancers worldwide. Ready to stop failing and start earning? White right pointing backhand index DM now. Spots are limited.